also you can mix this one message and progress, so you can see. And this one is a drawing plane. So now I will show you directly in CST Micro Studio how it's look like and what is the interface and how can we design CST Micro Studio. So first of all, in CST we have component library. In this one, almost 301 component it's inbuilt, in which you can direct export to in a CST workspace. So just look like this. This one is given in this some example, almost 304 components example. So this one is a actuator, transmission lines, waveguide path, accelerator cavity, and all of this example is inbuilt in this, and magnetron, Hooker magnetron, all of this application is given. So directly you can export the all of this uh, example into the workspace. So and you can visualize, and for the stepping, if you want to search some like this antenna, suppose that you are searching some antenna here, so you can find out here antenna is given in this one is a dipole antenna, horn antenna, patch antenna, and patch antenna array combined, and patch array simulation. So all of that application, all of this example you can look like, you can search here. Suppose that if you want to search like this waveguide, so look this one is a waveguide. So you can see here, you can all of the application example given for the waveguide is look like this, and you can just download and just open as a project. You can click on here, so it will directly open in the workspace. So so it's look like this. You can see here that model is export in project space, workspace. So it will take a little bit time. Yeah. Yeah, this one is a workspace. You can see here. This is a navigation tree. This one is a ribbon bar. This is a progress. This one is a parameter list. Actually, in this no parameters has defined. So if you will define some variable, then you can look. You can visualize here and expression and value. So you can import like this. And if you want to see what is the steps following this design, so just click on that word marks, and you can see here just some general description, structurization, solver setups, what is the solver setups is defined, and post processing, all of the example is given in this. So nothing, and after that, just I will jump to directly in our design now. So this one was the introductory part of the CST Micro Studio, and how can I design some patch antenna, and after that we will check some array modeling, and array setups, array modeling, and with. So first I will design some patch array antenna, single element. After that we will perform some array task, and after that we will verify that result with some in real scenario in array form. So first I will design a simple patch antenna for the sub 6 gigahertz. So it will be about to 3.4 gigahertz. So suppose that I am given example in this. So first yeah, this one is the dual patch array antenna. First I will design a dual patch antenna construction, a feeding network and simulation, and we will simulate antenna plus feeding network. So after first we will perform the model the antenna, define the excitation, configure the senti, simulate all of this step will follow in this example. So first what will you do here? First we will follow the create temple. Selection of temple is a very important in CST Micro Studio. If you want to accurate result, then you must select a accurate perfect template. For for your particular application. If suppose that if you want to design some DR antenna, and if you are using some patch template, then it will be very difficult to, it may be a chance to get inaccurate result. So better will be and some project template is defined in the CST Microwave Studio. So select that proper template for the for that particular applications. So let's suppose that this one is our create, actually we can, from starting we can show here, this one is a new and recent. Just go to the project template. Okay, after that it will go open one's new project template. So just click on that and it will open, then I will show you. Yeah, so there is, you can see here microwave and RF optical application. It's given like this. This one is Microwave Studio for the high frequency. This one is for the low frequency, like a magnet design, sensor, EMC, power electronics, for electromagnetic device. This one is the particles, like a magnetron. If you are, suppose that if you want to design some magnetron, klystron, accelerator, so beam optics, all of this application you can design in this module. So this one is MIMC. If you are simulating, if you want to perform some radiated emission, conducted emission, radiated susceptibility, conducted shielding, shielding effect, PCB rule checking, all of this application you can perform in this template. And now after that, if you want to simulate some signal integrity, power integrity, co-simulation, broadband model extraction, so all of this application you can simulate in ADA electronics module. So for the designing of antenna, we will select some this template, and after this we select this antennas template. So here you can see here it's many template is given, like a antenna, circuit components, like a connector, power divider, all of this application you can define here. RCS, you can perform some RC radar cross sections and biomedical, SAR analysis, optical. If you want to some design a nano antenna or optical frequency up to terahertz, or if you want to use some graphene based material or druid material, then you can use these optical applications. And if you want to design some periodic structure like FSS, metamaterial, so you can select this periodic structure template. So now for this application, now we will design some antenna. So I will select this antenna parameters. After that, you can see here, so which type of antenna do you want to design. So you can see here, this one is here, you can see here it's the waveguides, planar antenna, like a patch slot, you can select. So now I will design a planar antenna, a patch antenna. So I will select this planar antenna. Why, if you want to design some wire phase area antenna unit cell, this one is for the array task. So you can design here also, but no need to design here now. If you want to simulate some 260, 50, 60 units, then you can use this phased array unit cell. If you want some housing like a MIMO antenna, if you want using some integral CMA analysis, and if you have some MIMO antenna and you want to provide you want to simulate, if you want to check performance of the antenna with housing, then you can select this mobile phone integrated. Okay, and this one is a reflector antenna. Reflector antenna, if you want to design some reflector antenna, so this one will use the integral equation solver asymptotic for the meshing purpose. So it's we can directly use a hybrid application for the antenna application placement application. So it's okay. So now this one is a dielectric resonator antenna. If you want to simulate a dielectric resonator antenna, DR antenna, so you can use this one template and for this RFID application. So after this, actually, if you want to design some planar antenna, here you can see this time domain application, frequency domain application, multi-layer application. So I need to define what's the difference between time domain, frequency domain, and multi-layer. So first of the time domain, what's the principle of time domain? Principle of the time domain is FIT plus TLM in a single chip, finite integration technique used with coding like a FDTD. Okay. So for the FDTD, we big cell, we break down in a small cell, E cell, and we calculate the, using the FIT, we can calculate the E field and H field in that case. So we, for the time domain, time domain application used for time domain solver used for the wideband application and for the multiband application. Why this one is useful for the wideband multiband application? Because the time domain always you calculate the time mode, frequency mode, calculate the frequency domain, frequency mode at a single frequency, and according to that frequency that all of frequencies integer frequency calculate by that single frequency. But in frequency domain, mode calculated at single frequency. Suppose that if you want to design a 1 to 5 gigahertz, let's suppose. So what happen in time domain, mode calculation frequency will be 2.5 in time domain. Okay, and according to that 2.5 gigahertz application or result will come out from the come out from according to your 2.5 gigahertz. But in frequency domain, it will calculate from 1 to 5 gigahertz, like a 1 gigahertz, 2 gigahertz, 3 gigahertz. So all of that frequency will calculate the mode. So it will take a little bit time for the wideband application, and it will take less time for the wideband application. So if you want to design some narrowband application, then frequency domain prefer. If you want to design a wideband application, then time domain prefer. So if you want to simulate at a time of, if you are exciting at more than two port at a time, then we prefer the frequency domain applications, frequency domain solvers. So time domain, now we'll select some time domain. After that, here you can see dimension. So dimension is millimeter, centimeter, micrometer, nanometer, wala. So right now we'll select a millimeter, and frequency is gigahertz. You can select also hertz, kilohertz, megahertz, terahertz. So time is given in nanosecond and Kelvin. So you can select here also. You can select later also when you will design. So it's not a necessary to select here, and it's not a mandatory actually. So now we will design some antenna for the application. You can define here frequency minimum and frequency maximum. So suppose that I am defining suppose 3 to 5 gigahertz, let's suppose. So you can define frequency minimum here, frequency maximum here, and you can calculate some electric field monitor. You can define field monitor from here also. Otherwise, you can define later also. No need to, it's not a mandatory to define here. You can define in between the project designing. So let's suppose if you am simulating for the 3.4 gigahertz, let's suppose. So we can define E field, H field, R field. If you want to simulate at a time more than one frequency, then just give up some semicolon and you can define the multiple frequency. So now go to the next, select and just finish. Yeah, so it's a new workspace has been open, new project. So now in that I want to introduce something. So this one is simulation project, SMA, system assembling modeling. You can use this, all of this application is given like a hybrid task machine simulation, decision time domain solvers. And if you want to some optimizer using some algo like a trust frame or genetic or some other another optimizer, you can use some algorithm given in that inbuilt. And this one is for the parametric. If you want some parameterize your variable, then you can use this interface. And this one is, so first this one is for the modeling. You can design some permittivity like a bricks, sphere, cone, torus, cylinder. So this one is given some pyramid, so you can design all of the. If you want some select a bricks, if you want to design a cube, then you can select a bricks. If you want to design some sphere, you can select this sphere. If you want to design some cone, then you can select this one. So apart from that, you can design some from the curve also. So create 2D curve, create 3D curve. So in that you need to define some coordinate and design a curve, and you can need to in that case you need to sweep some parameters. So now this one is a pick face. If you want to select some particular face, edge, or some particular point, so all of this interface is given here. And for the local coordinate, it's in this actually this workspace is given in global coordinate, okay, X, Y, Z. And if you want to select some local coordinate, then also you can perform from here, local WSS. So this one is a simulation. Now here you can see here frequency background. So frequency, no need, as I told that, no need to mandatory define from that case. So here is given minimum frequency 3, and now for the present application 3 to 3.8 gigahertz. So let's suppose we can change here, or Also unit can change here from the this interface, otherwise you can from here also. So let's start some designing parameter, it will be better, so I can explain properly in that case. So just now for the designing of antenna, we need to three parameter. First one is a ground, second one is a substrate, and third one is a patch and feed. So let's suppose now I will design some ground plane with the PEC or copper. So just select this bricks and just click arbitrary on workspace, otherwise you can click also escape directly. So now you can give a nomenclature is a ground, and actually first of all I am designing a single element. So total length of the array is 90. So first I will design a single element. So length will be minus 45 by 2 to 45 by 2, and in y direction is 0 to 60, and I will take some z mean thickness of the ground minus 0.018, and z max will be 0. So you can select PEC or copper also from the from the library also. Here you can see all of the material available in market. You can select that material, Mona, copper, or Erlon, RTD, or any material you can select in which are available in the market. Otherwise you can define also one. If you want to define some material, then you can go here and select new material. You can define accordingly to your applications. So let's suppose this one is a bricks. X min is defined like this, minus 45 by 2, 45 2, and y. Now just click on that. Actually I am selecting material for the ground is a PEC. Otherwise you can select a copper also. Copper and lead, it's no matter. Result will come same. So just click on the OK. Okay. This one is a copper, and now I will show you some the interface of the extrude face. Okay, so for the extruding of the face, just we need to click on the face. So for the selecting a face, just click on the this peak face interface. Otherwise you can click directly F also. Its shortcut key is F. Otherwise just click on the peak face and just go to the which face do you want to select. Just click on, double click on that. This one is selected actually, and now what do you need is you need to extrude the face. So we extrude the face, and now you can see here this one is actually total length was of minus 45 by 45 to 45. Actually this one is defined for the array, two element array, but I am defining for the single element. So actually I want to show something array task performance for the in CST Micro Studio. So I am designing a single element. So now you can see here this one is a peak face, and just click on that and substrate and extrude. So height is 1.52, material taken is RF35. So just go to the height taken is 1.52 mm, and material we can load from the material library. So just for the Taconic, suppose that if you want to select a Taconic material, so just click search in Taconic and go to the RF35 glossy. Yeah, this one. So from here you can see here material properties is given in this attributes is type of material is a normal, not a lossy. Actually epsilon dielectric permittivity constant is 3.5, permittivity is given 1, and tangential loss is 0.0025, and thermal conductivity is given also. At which frequency they have performance is given like at 10 gigahertz. So all parameters is given in this, and now you just click on the load, and after that you just click on the preview. What is the preview? Just you can see here this one is given defined like this. So just click on the OK. Yeah, so you can see here this one is a substrate layer and this one is a ground. So you can see here this component is defined component is given in this navigation tree. So this one is a ground, and this one is a substrate. Actually, I didn't give any nomenclature, so you change also from here. So color also you can change, material also you can change, otherwise nomenclature also you can change. So let's suppose I had given name. So yeah. So suppose it's a substrate I have defined and a ground. Now we'll define some feed. Okay. So for the feed, I will take a local coordinate. Local to coordinate always help to the simplicity for the defining of your project. Let's suppose if you don't know the coordinate of your system, so better will be define some local coordinate. So for the better selection of local coordinate, I will take a middle point of this edge of the substrate. So for the selection of the middle point of the this edge, I will select from the peak points. Otherwise, you can use the shortcut key is M. So from here you can see here if you want to select some edge center, end point, face center, or peak point on circles. So from this parameter you can, from this interface you can select. Otherwise you can use the shortcut key JNP or C as given in this. So just click on this peak edge center. So after this what will be, just double click on this. You can see here it's some highlighted edge is highlighted directly automatically. So it's, if you are select here, just go to this edge. You can see here this one is a middle point. If you will go this here, so you can see here this one is a middle point. So for the selection of middle point of the edge, just double click on this point. So this one is a center of the edge, middle center of the edge. You can select from the shortcut key is M. Otherwise, you can select this interface. Okay. So now what will we do for this defining a local coordinate? Just click on the local WCS. Otherwise, shortcut key is W. W also you can click. So you will define like a WUV. This one is a local coordinate. Local coordinate always helpful to us define the simplicity of your project. So let's suppose if you don't know your coordinate system is, so it will be a little bit difficult to define some parameters. So use the local coordinate. From here you can see you can change your plane also, align the WXY plane, YZ plane, or UV plane. So you can do select accordingly, but I am taking this plane. Okay, for this particular this example. And after that I will design some I will define one feeding network. So feeding, I will define some feeding microstrip. So just click, and you can arbitrarily click on the your workspace. Otherwise you can click directly escape. So you can press escape, then it will, this template will automatically appear, and you can define your parameters. So let's suppose this one you can give us some nomenclature feed. Okay, and now I will define some my feed parameter is minus, for my particular application, minus 1.7 to 1.7. Okay, and length is 0 to 16.5, and width is thickness is 0.018. So I will take 0.018, and material will be EC. So now you can see here, this one is a feeding network preview. This one is given a preview. If you want to see some preview, what will be your design look like, so you can just click on the preview and you can see. So now just click on the OK, and now you can see your feeding network has defined. Now I need to design some patch. So for the designing of patch, just click on the bricks. You can escape, you can press a key directly escape. Otherwise you can click on the arbitrary and just click, so you will get this template like this. So I will give some nomenclature patch, and u minimum will be minus 16 point minus 14.9 minus 1.7, and I will give some. Actually, I have designed this one, so according to your specification, you can put your parameters. So 3.8 plus 1.7. Okay, and from where will we start? Like actually, total length is 16.5 here. Okay, so I will start V minimum. I will give some 16.5, and V max will go up to 49.5. So you can see here it's look like this. This one is a preview. So just click on this. Okay. So now I have designed some single patch antenna. So I need to define some port analysis. Port. Okay. So for defining a port, we can use the waveguide port or discrete port. Plain wave we don't need here. Actually, plain wave need to define RCS analysis. Otherwise, some if you want to simulate some conducted susceptibility or radiated susceptibility, there you need plain wave. Okay. Otherwise, plain wave flocket port is also a part of a plain wave. So there also if forced to a flocket plain wave to for the same unit cell. So also we need to define some plain wave there. But directly we don't use in the for the antenna, waveguide, circulator, all of this application. We no need to use the plain wave. Yeah. So now this one is a waveguide port. This one is a discrete port. What's the difference between a waveguide port and discrete ports? Waveguide port can be defined for the TE mode, TM mode, or TM mode as well. Or but discrete port always work for the TEM mode, and this one it does not. Actually, principle of the discrete port is different. So for this application, I will design a waveguide port. So now, and I will check the what is the mode, mode, which type of mode is generated in this waveguide port. So for defining a waveguide port, just I need to remove this local coordinate. So just click on the WCS again, and it will disappear. So for the defining a discrete port, in macros in CST is given already a macros for defining a waveguide ports. So for the defining a waveguide port, just select this height of the feed. So just this face we will need to select for the we are selecting a defining a waveguide ports. So just click on this. We need to select this face of the feed. So for the selection we use the interface. Otherwise shortcut is F. So just go and double click. And after that, where do we need to go? Just go solvers, port, and calculate text. So from here you can see a macros actually already have lots of application and lots of templates and lots of predefined some parameters you can define from macros. You can use the macros. Macros is very useful for the research application. So for the defining a waveguide port, we go to the solvers, just click on the ports and calculate the port extension coefficient. Just click on this. Now you can see here this one is a waveguide port to look like this, and what is the parameter now? Actually, what is the k is difference between this? So just calculate k parameter extension coefficient. You will automatically it will calculate. Actually, this is nothing. This is nothing up to where this fringing effect will take out in your waveguide port. See, this one is calculated by this macros. Otherwise, if you know the up to where your fringing will affect in your microstrip, you can define automatic manually also. So we just click on the calculate, and extension coefficient is given 6.15, and after that need to click on the construct point from peak to face. Just click. Yeah. Just close this one. So it's our web guide port look like this, and now I need to save this. Otherwise, anywhere we can see save. Suppose that I am saying here. I am giving some nomenclature single element simulation. So actually I have some problem in my system. Again, problem is coming. Yeah, it's a save like this, and now we can perform some boolean operation also on this. Let's suppose if this patch and field line you want to add, just select both patch and feed and go to the boolean operation, and you can see here add, subtract, intersect, insert, all of this boolean operation you can perform. Now for this application, for this project, I am adding both patch and feed. So yeah. Actually, I didn't take that time thickness of the PEC, so now I can change here. So now it's look like this. You can see here both has been added, this patch and feed. So now what we can do here, and now we will go to the setup solvers. So we can check here what is the setup solvers. So let's suppose this one is a hexahedral meshing types, and this one is a hexahedral TLM. Actually, generally we don't use the TLM because this one is dedicated for the EMI, EMC and the cable simulation. So generally we use the hexahedral simulation. This one is a accuracy. Accuracy define the at what parameters your total energy will be discharged. So let's suppose if your antenna is simulated, and if your energy is not total discharge up to -40 accuracy, then you need to improve the accuracy level -40 to -50. So by default, in most of the case, most of the application is fine, but in some case that this one is not enough, so you can improve its accuracy, but it's a trade-off between the time and accuracy. Now this one is a source type. Which type of source you want to select? This one, actually, this in this case it's only one port, so you can see here it's only one port, but take all ports. This one is all modes, and now you can show here something. So as I told, this port mode mode calculation frequency in time domain always is calculate the middle frequency of the fmin and fmax. According to this frequency mode of the total bandwidth in time domain, it's automatically solved with adaptive processes. But if you go for the frequency domain, this one is calculated for the every frequency. No need to define any mode calculation frequency, but in CST it's by default it's given a middle frequency of the defining the total frequency f mean, middle frequency of f mean and fmax. So this one is a basic. Actually, this one is advanced topic. So if you need any help, then you can mail us directly. And after that, what do we need? Just click on the start apply. Before we are going to start, I will show you something. This one is a global properties and mesh. Okay, so this one is you can see cells per wavelength. Cells per wavelength is 15. Cells per mesh. Actually, this one is a near model. It take automatically. No need to do anything. But in some particularly case, like if you use them particle applications, in that you need to some homogeneous meshing. So you need to define some homogeneous mesh from here. Otherwise, you can do some local meshing also. So for this application now, what can we do here? just go to the mesh view, and you can see here it's taking a proper snapping at the edge, at the everywhere, and it's a for the viewing purpose and nothing else here. But in many applications you need to check your snapping is occurring properly or not. In some application no need of snapping, so you can check your meshing used for the computational. So this one is a hexahedral mesh, and for the tetrahedral mesh, for the frequency domain, we use the tetrahedral mesh. So both are meshing are technically different. Now what can we do here? Just start a simulation. Yeah, it's running now. It will take a little bit time, 5-10 minutes. It's running now. Let's check whether it run will complete or not. Yeah. Yeah, some things problem here again. Listen, my system is giving a problem, some read and write. So let's. Yeah, this one is designed before also. This one has been simulated. So if you'll run like this, actually, if my present time in my system is just giving some problem, actually have occurs some problem. So better will be I show you. I will show some results. If you'll run that, run will be completed, then you'll get some result like this. So I will show you some result directly. So what's the parameter is S parameter. So before we're going S parameter, I will show you something. It's a port signals. Okay. So for the getting a accurate result, your result is accurate, you are getting a result is accurate or not. So we need to check either whether port S1. अरे यार, यहाँ से is coming a problem. Let's suppose it's running or not. So betterly I will show you result some PPT. Actually, I wanted to show something with a single element, and after that we can show some array task performance. Actually, we have some array task performance in CST. From that you can analyze the array performance of a single element antenna without simulation of any array. Means that means if you have some single element antenna, you can check the and you can analyze the performance of array antenna without simulating a array task performance. So better will be once a time it will run, then I will show you. And in this case, yeah. So it will take a 5 or 10 minutes. So it will be complete. Run will be complete. So yeah. Yeah, so simulation has been completed now. So now I will show you result. What is the S parameters and 2D, 3D parameters. So first of all, you can see here it's a port signals. So port signals for the getting accurate result. This means your result is accurate or not. Some you have problem in simulation. So what's first we will check. First you will check the port signals. Okay, so suppose that if you have defined here minus 40 dB accuracy. Okay, so at minus 40 dB accuracy, your energy, your port signal should be a must be a steady state after some time. So you can just see here it's your input at port 1, it's going steady state, but you can see here its output is a little bit fluctuation here. Okay, but it must be a steady state for the accurate result, but it's okay right now. Actually, if you change the minus 50, you will not you will not get any changes in result. uh, so in this case scenario, but if you go for the higher frequency like this for the 28 or 30 gigahertz, so it can be a problematic for this type of fluctuation in your signals. So always first after the simulation, you must check the whether this signal is going in steady state condition or not. So after this you can check here, it's a little bit fluctuation, but it's a almost it's going to steady state after 14 or 50 millisecond nanosecond, it will be a steady state condition. So now we will check the S parameter. Okay, so S parameter is defined the reflection coefficient. So for the reflection coefficient, you can check here whether the our frequency is resonating or radiating. So you can see, so you can check here, you can see here it's a frequency is going 3.39 gigahertz. This antenna is designed for the sub 6 gigahertz 5G application. So this antenna is radiating at 3.39 gigahertz, and after that you can see here the efficiency of the antenna. So radiation efficiency, you can see here it's almost 49.5, but total frequency will go for the 40, it's almost 52.5. So total 52.5 percentage of the efficiency of the antenna. So efficiency of the antenna is 52.5. You can visualize from the this interface. Now you can check also your BSWR. It's BSWR at a frequency of 3.39 gigahertz. You are getting 1.01 BSWR. So if you will move this cursor, you can get what's value of the with respect to your frequency. So after that, now you need to check your 2D parameter. 2D parameter means if you want to, actually I didn't define. If you want to define some 2D parameter, then you can just go to the simulation and field monitor. Here you can check your field monitor, E field, H field, far field, you can define here, and frequency range. So you can define from field monitors, as you told that in template also you can select. Otherwise you can select from the monitors also. So you can define here E field, H field, and power surface, surface current, all of these parameters you can define here. So let's suppose that if you want to check what is the field monitors we have already have defined. So I have defined far field at 3.4 gigahertz. So actually I have defined this far field at 3.4 gigahertz. So now I need to check 2D and 3D parameters. So first of all, what's the mode generation in this port? If you want to check, then you can go here and just check port modes. So just click on the port mode E field. So you can check it's a you can check here what's a port mode. It's a frequency 3.4 gigahertz, wavelength is 88.1743, and its a mode type is quasi TEM, and this line impedance is 48.366753 ohm. It's almost a 50 ohm, and wave impedance is 272.213 ohm. So you can see here all of this parameter. Otherwise, if you want to visualize the some field, you can just click and you can visualize. In this case you can't get because strength is not as much. So because suppose that you can visualize also here. And after that, if you want to some far field, if you want to check your far field parameters, just go to the select this far field at 3.4 gigahertz, and now you can see here this antenna is radiating in broadband. So this antenna is radiating in broadband, and this one's parameters you can select your far field parameter like a directivity, gain, realized gain, field pattern. So any of the parameter you can select. So in this case you selected directivity, otherwise you can select realized gain. So realized gain is 9.17 dBi with respect to isotropic, so it's given is dBi. So you can see here maximum intensity is 9.17, and total efficiency is 50 point, it's a beam efficiency actually 52.53 dB. So in percentage you can also calculate. So after that, what do you need actually? If you want to check this result in polar plot, so just click on this 1D. Okay, so 1D, if you will go, what's happening in this here? Okay, after that, if you want to, first I will check some co and cross. Okay, so this one is a linear directional for the simulation, checking of simulation. So now you can check here, this is a far field. Actually 1D far field results not saved due to some problem in system. So if you will go for the 1D result, so in that case you will get some actually it's some problem in this system. Better will be for the properties you can check here for the H plane, E plane. So for this one is defined for the E plane. If you go for the H plane, you can define this if phi is equal to 0. So variable will be theta, and for the E plane it will be phi will be 90. For the H plane, for the it will be a 0. So from there you can plot 1D Cartesian plot of all of that condition. You can plot type, you can select from the navigation bar, and you can define some phi for the E plane and H plane. So after that we need to check some array factor. Okay, so as I told that array factor you can simulate in CST. Let's suppose array factor is defined here. So if you want to say, simulate antenna in this one is linear, if you want to simulate a linear or planar, so you can define in any direction. Let's suppose I am defining a 2 element in X direction and 0 in Y direction and Z direction, and its specificity 45 I have defined because the total width and length is 45. So actually in X direction I have given 45, so it's specific 45. And also you can define some phase shift. If you want to some beam forming or scanning, you can define some angle also, and you can check here antenna placement coordinate. So you can define in rectangular. Otherwise, if you have some unequal placement, so you can define some user defined. Okay, so just go and just What's the problem here? Actually, something is a problem in my system. I don't know what happened. Okay. Uh, Something is a problem in my system, so better will be go for this two element array. Okay, so for the two element array, just I will show you in direct in this patch antenna. So for the it says defining a two element, just click this face of the ground and go to the extrude and take some, you can give a nomenclature any. Height will be 45 and material will be PEC because it's this one is a ground. So just click and after that, if you want and we need to extrude this face and go to the extrude and give the some 45 and you can give name any name. So material is Taconic RF35. So now you can define here and you can look like this. So you can perform some Boolean operation also. Just click this one, control this one and just go to the Boolean operation. You can use shortcut key is plus, otherwise add. And you can select this one also ground. So you can just go to the, you can select here from here also. Just click on this and just add. So now you can see here, this one is a Boolean operation and now I need to define same element in this place, at this place. So what can we do? We can do transform directly from this and we can just copy and you can specify at what distance do you want to place. Otherwise, if you want to do some just symmetry of this patch antenna from the center, so just what will you need? Just go to the component, as I told you before, just click on the center of this edge and define some local coordinate. So now we have defined some local coordinate. Just go to the, just click on this patch and go to the transform and now just go to the mirror and just copy and you can now one this one is a yeah. So you can see here this one is a normal component is U1 and this one is center of the defined. So now it's a mirror, just a one copy is design placed here also. So this is a two element now. Yeah, this is two patch placed at the substrate and now we need to define again waveguide port. Just click on this face and go to the macros again, solvers, ports and calculate port extension coefficient. So now just click on the calculate and construct. And after that we need to define array. We can define a two ways. Okay, so for the array, for the suppose that if you want to simulate this antenna as a MIMO antenna, okay, so as you can use a MIMO antenna, you can a array antenna. Difference is this, in array antenna we need to excite a simultaneous, and for the MIMO antenna we need to excite at a time one antenna, and another antenna will be matched by 50 ohm. So suppose that if you want to design this antenna as an array antenna, just go to the selection. Okay, so we can define here two ways. First one is, suppose that if you want to simulate this antenna just sequentially for the port S parameter, and after that we can perform some sequentially, and after that we can perform some combined result. We can get some combined result. So from the combining you can get a array far field pattern. If you will suppose otherwise, you can do directly a sequential, simultaneous. So if you suppose that if you are exciting a simultaneous, so no need to define some array combined parameters. So you can just excite this antenna with same amplitude or unequal amplitude, and you can define some phase shift also. Just phase shift at which frequency will taken, it will take a 3.4 gigahertz. So amplitude you can define with equal amplitude or unequal amplitude. For the, if you want to use some scanning parameter or some another applications, you can provide the phase shift also. So let's suppose that I will do some sequentially, and I will do some combined result. For getting a array parameters, I will do combined result. So suppose that I am simulating a sequentially, and after that just okay, and now we can improve some -40 to -50 and apply. Okay, so from here you can define parameters also. Let's suppose this is a field monitor, and E field actually define, I will define E field, electric field at 3.4 gigahertz, H field at 3.4 gigahertz, and far field has been defined already. If you do something, then it will ask like this. So better will be don't do anything, and just okay, I can say. So now from here you can see here, far field has been defined, E field has been defined. I think H field didn't define. So let's suppose I will define some H field also. Just click. Okay. So from here you can see here far field at 3.4 gigahertz is defined, electric field at 3.4 gigahertz has defined, and magnetic field at 3.4 gigahertz has been defined. So from here we can simulate again after that we will simulate this. So actually due to some limitation of time period, so I will show you result directly from the here. Okay, so let's suppose same thing, same step has been followed here, and yeah, this one I want to say that if you have some symmetryness in your structure, just you can click here, and it will save your time, because S11 and S22 parameter will be, we will get a same because of the symmetryness. So your structure is a symmetryness, so S11 and S22 will be the same. So you can just click at this point, and from this selection of this point you will get if you will check this point, you can save your simulation time. So after that, just I will follow the same. You can see here it's a quasi TEM mode, 50 ohm, and the field pattern you can see here like this, how your pattern is going like this in port mode. So as I told you, port signals you can check here. Now as again I am getting some problem here, what happened with this. So now you can see, I will show you result here directly. If you run that one, then you will get result like this. So input this port mode is port signal is given like this, I1, I2, output 1, 1. You are giving one input here, output here. So port signals you can get like this. So it should be a steady state condition, but due to some parameter you can change accuracy level -40 to -50. So now what can we do here is, you can check here as parameter, it's about to almost -3.4 gigahertz, 3.39 gigahertz, and magnitude is -20 dB, almost -30 dB, in between -25 to -30 dB. So magnitude is reflection is good. So now you can, what can we do? You can check how the power loss loss in dielectric, loss in metals, all of this, power in dB watt, you can check here from this interface. Power is given in 1D result, excitation 2. So how your power is accepting, radiating in similarity. So all of these parameter you can perform, you can check here. So after that you can perform some A field simulation at 3.4 gigahertz. So now it's from smart scaling you can check your from smart scaling you can improve your intensity. So this will helpful for the visualizing of the uh, your electric field on your patch or any substrate or any models. So here you will get some contour, arrow, or some another parameter in point. Also you can bubbles type, contour type, arrow type, in which form do you want to select, you can select. If you will get if you will select contour, then you will get electric field directly on the patch on the surface. Okay, so let's suppose this one is you can click a smart scaling and you can animate field, how the antenna is radiating from, how is a pattern of the electric field, you can visualize from this animation fields. So from here is called is smart scaling. Using the animation and contour you can visualize the electric field like this. Okay, so you can check here the port 1 and port is almost at 50 ohm, this one is 48 ohm, and after that now what we'll do, you can check here individually far field. For port 1 far field is given like this, for port 2 it's given like this. So you can show structure also, within the structure also you can visualize the result. So now we will need to combine the result. So because of I simulated that result in a sequential form, so now we need to combine the result. So for the combining a result, you use this post processing and go to the combined result. So okay, after that what will you do, go to the frequency in which monitor do you want, frequency or time. So we have defined in frequency, so I will select this one frequency, and after that you can automatically you can define this phase. Actually 180 degree phase shift defined because it's a constructive, this interface, though both beam will be in constructive manner, not a destructive manner. So I define this phase shift is 180 degree. So actually patch same power in both antenna given at 0.5 watt, means amplitude equal amplitude will give average power is 0.5 watt. So labeling is one you can see here. If you will do some automatic labeling, you can find out like this. So after that you will get a, if when you will do some combined result, so when you will give some phase shift, then your due to the coupling, due to the phase shift, port will port in some coupling in coupling will occur in two port, or coupling can be occur between two patch antenna. So due to that condition, S parameter can be improved or degrade. So you can check here both S11 parameter is not same like before. So from here you can see here S parameter without a phase shift 180 degree without shift, it's going giving S parameter at almost at minus 30 dB. When you are using a phase shift to 180, it's you can see here it's almost at minus 50 dB at 3.4 gigahertz exact. So after that what will you do, some you can visualize the electric field. You can visualize at a time both electric field, and this one is just, you can see here this one is opposite to each other. So after that if you will do some combined result, you will get 8.86 dBi. So you can see here when you are simulating a 6 point, when you are checking if you are visualizing the far field for the single element, single port, you can see here this parameters is dBi 6.56 dBi. Okay, gain is 6.56 dBi, and when you are using a combined result, this means array antenna performance. If you are simulating in that condition, you can check here 8.86 dBi. This means antenna directivity and antenna gain improved due to the antenna array task. So from there, here you can another way, as I told, this is simultaneous. You can perform this simulation. So simultaneous you can perform, you can provide some phase shift in port 2, and you can check here as I told you before. So this one is the last topic of today, and for tomorrow I will do some patch antenna array using antenna array task performance parameters. So if you have any query, then you can ask. Already it's 3:24.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for the valuable information that you have shared with us. Sir, there are some queries in the chat box.
Yeah, man.
Like first query, how to determine the far field radiation properties of a broadband microstrip patch antenna in CST?
How can?
Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
are able to see the query.
yeah, yeah,
Juhi
yeah,
Garg
yeah.
has
Yeah,
posted.
yeah, yeah. How
Yeah.
to determine the Fermi radiation properties of the broadband microstrip. As I told that this one is a broadband result. So actually, I can't show you. That time I can show in that if you will scroll down, parameter like a gain, electric field, or directivity, you can select in that. That one is a far field parameters. Okay. Otherwise, you can select go to the. You can use the post processing also. Okay, there is a post processing. Let's suppose this one is a far field antenna properties. Go to the far field result. Okay, and after that you will get some all settings. Okay, here you will get some all setting, and you can select any. Actually, I didn't select any in this case, so we don't have any result. So suppose that this one is a far field results. Okay, so now which plot mode do you want? Which parameter do you want? Just select this one: directivity, gain, realized gain, electric field. All of these parameters you can find out. Okay, so from this parameter you can plot this radiation pattern. Okay.
Okay, sir. One more query is in the chat box. Can we design and analyze solar absorber in CST?
Solar absorber, which material they use, it's depend upon that. Absorber we can define in CST, but it's depend upon material. So which material is using. So they suppose that it's totally different type of the material. So in CST actually support the dispersive materials, lossy materials, lossless materials. But if you are using some in CST you can't define any chemical based material. So it's depend which type of material you are using. If you want to use some absorber, if you want to simulate some absorber, so just go to the new recent FSS. So what is the parameter? Actually, I want to know that what was the parameter of they want to simulate. Uh, if you want to simulate some in terms of S parameter, then they can simulate S parameter. From the S parameter they can calculate the metamaterial absorbability. So from here you can see here the FSS metamaterial. You can perform some FSS metamaterial simulation, and you can check the absorber material or it's a or if filter type of material. You can simulate from here. So it's totally depends upon the material properties actually. So if he need to in details, then he can mail us. So it will be better. So I can explain properly then.
Okay, sir,
So
one more and last query from
yeah,
my side.
yeah,
If I go for the designing for the FSS by the material of GML 1000
okay,
and simultaneously I have to go for the designing with the same parameters and the material is changed, that is FR4 like anyone else. So
okay.
practically how much they are differ, because you are doing practically in your offices or
Yeah,
workshops.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I want to ask, sir, because we are doing everything is on software only.
Yes, yes. So
So
result
practically how much they are
practically,
differ?
but practically will be a max to max 5 to 10% will vary, but it's not almost 95 to 99%. It's almost accurate. Okay, it depends upon your that simulation way. Okay, so it's also depends upon actually you need to check if machine has been you are getting a properly or not. So it's suppose that which material have you used previously in first case?
Oh, sir, first case I am using GML 1000. Like
Okay,
suppose
okay. And second case FR4.
Let's suppose.
Yeah. So it's depend on, it will define actually metamaterials depends upon the structure parameters. Okay, which type of material actually metamaterials is only the metamaterial have the some property like a band gap, electromagnetic band gap. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
So that electromagnetic band gap depends upon your metamaterial shapes, designing parameters, which type of SRR, like SRR, single ring split ring resonator, suppose that you have. So in that, what you do, just designing a capacitive and inductive element. Okay, so in that, if you are using a capacitive and inductive element, so that element that can be differ from the your metamaterial substrate properties. Okay, so suppose that C is equal to epsilon A by D. Okay, so let's suppose
Yes.
this one. Yeah.
So sir, at the same time, if I'm taking the lossy material or lossless material, so it can be differ for both of the
Can,
designs?
no, it will be differ. It will be differ.
Okay, okay, okay. That
So
I want to know because I'm
yeah,
working on the same.
yeah. Actually, metamaterial we don't use lossless because in practical case also it's very difficult to get a lossless material. You can get, but in metamaterial FSS type of application, most of the case we use the lossy material. If you not
Yes.
yeah, most of the case in we use the lossy material. So for a particular application you need to use the lossy material, not a lossless material. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for the
Thank you.
valuable session that you have
Thank you.
delivered and the practical that you show all the participants. Really, it is amazing. You can see in
Thank
the chat box.
you.
I think it is
Thank you.
very
Thank you.
informative for all the participants. Thank you so much,
Okay.
sir,
Thank you.
for
Thank you
sharing your
so much.
knowledge with us.
Okay. Thanks to all. And if you have any queries, then you can mail us. This one is a mail of mine, and this one is our technical director. You can, if you need any queries, then you can contact on this email ID. If you want to note down, then you can note down also.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all participation. Thank you all the participants for your good learning and for patience. Thank you so much.
Thank you.